No way, no way. Is it finally happening? You don't even need me to tell you, you already know. Lately, Mojang is and has been on something else. The update they're currently cooking up and the snapshots that they've been making and baking, well, I mean, this stuff is insane, and it's so delicious. Recently, for like essentially the first time in years here, pretty much, both the desert biome and the Badlands biome have been receiving updates on updates. Some of their most recent beautiful additions are some brand new plants, different grass types that you'll be able to find dotting the land all over the sand inside of both the desert and the Badlands biome. But of course, there was even more. Snapshot 25W06A, a real superstar, well, it also implemented this strange flower, and look, it doesn't take a fool to draw the connection. It's almost like at one point in time, we were proposed another pink little thing growing atop a cactus. With all of the hints and teasers Mojang's been on lately, is it too far off to assume that perhaps our next feature hint is, well, like, in-game, right in front of all of our faces right now? I don't think that's too bad of a guess. Some lost iconic Minecraft features just might be about to make their big return. Here's every reason as to why that just might be, and a little bit about how it might work once it hits game. Alright, look, besties, I will be made no fool. Despite my handsome looks, I'm not a clown. I fully understand and I'm well aware that a prickly pear, well, this beautiful little thing nestling beneath the vulture's feet right here, prickly pear is something else. Though a prickly pear does come from a flowering cactus, the prickly pear plant is definitely not a flower. Instead, it's a food. Okay, Timothy, I know, your brain is great, but just hold on to that thought. We'll come back to it later. For now, I want to throw it all the way back to 2019, an ancient time. Way back whenever that was, Biome Vote to Badlands. We were proposed 3 juicy features. Fast forward a little bit, so sad, tragic, Badlands features, they get the axe. And that's it for the backstory today. You already know about it, right? To be honest, with this being from 2019, your grandparents probably know about this stuff too. Ask them sometime. And our decently long list of hints that the vulture and some cool other features might be coming to the game. Next, our first little hint, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. This has been a long time. Our once shiny and brand new, long ago proposed Badlands features, well, they've been sitting on the shelf for quite some time. At a certain point, it gets to be a little bit of cruel and unusual punishment, don't you think, that these features are just sitting inside of a bin? The poor vulture, I mean, the thing has ears. Prickly pear probably has ears too. A tumbleweed, I don't know. But don't you think it's a little unfair that these things have sat on a shelf for over half a decade now? Yeah, that's right. Over half of a decade now, listening to me and the community theorize about how this stuff might definitely be coming to the game soon. Backlog features, ideas that Mojang wants to add to the game. We know they've got them. They told us they have them. If we take a look at their, public backlog, if you will, all of these mob vote things, 2019 is what we want to zoom in on here. Mountains, swamp. Hey, wait a second. We have both of those, and with the firefly, I mean, we have all of the wild update features. In 2019, it's almost like there is one other biome that needs fulfillment, and wait a second. Is that spelled like and pronounced like, and, it reads like the word Badlands. That's crazy. Maybe it's because of the Minecraft movie, maybe it's because Mojang has finally grown up, but lately they're all about the hype. As they have already shown, and then in turn, we the community have already proven to them, the implementation of old features that the community has been wanting for a long time, aka cough cough firefly, well, it's bound to generate a ton of hype. From a movie to amusement parks, there's a lot going on in the Minecraft realm right now. There's a lot to earn from some well-received Minecraft updates. Implementing some long-awaited features that practically everybody knows about, including people who aren't even playing the game right now. Well, for hype, that's a heat idea. Throwback Thursday. So, gosh, I usually save a bunch of my footage that I make for the videos. I hope I still have the footage of it. But 2024, the eerie Mojang Office Party event server. On that event server, in one part of the server, we slid into a race, and that race took place in Mojang's Ideas Vault. What was in that Ideas Vault, you ask? Oh yeah, it was every single mob from the past votes. Weird. I don't know if I got a good shot of it or what. You might be able to catch it in the background here somewhere, but the vulture was definitely inside of this vault alongside the meerkat and well, every other vote mob. The weirdest thing about this event server that has sat inside of my mind, living rent-free since the moment I read it, is, well, paraphrasing here, the texts are unfortunately sacred and lost now, but the fact that the Ideas Vault contains past ideas and future updates. Future updates, you say? What were they? Now, I did a lot of analysis and investigation in the couple of weeks that this server was online, and at the time, I couldn't find a single thing inside of this Ideas server that was like a future update. Unless... So at this point, it's all starting to make sense and add up. But just you wait. This next one is a banger. And actually, while you wait, take a quick second to slide down below, find that subscribe button, make sure you've tapped it before, and tap like real quick. We are currently on that sweet road to even more subscribers, and I'd love your help. Now, speaking of sacred texts, the Tigzimi Nenbon interview from a couple of weeks ago, at this point, it's practically one of them. We talked all about it before, but inside of this interview, at one point, Tigzimi asked Nenbon, what is one update that you would love to see come to the game next the most? Like, what do you want to see updated the most? And, I mean, take a look at what's behind Nenbon. So to begin with, that was already crazy, but the answer to the question makes it even more juicy. He had gestured to the biome posters behind him and said, these things, and there's 3 of them, the desert, the Badlands, and the savannah. Huh, interesting. You say you want to see those things come to the game the most. And then some warm features come to the game the next week. It's almost like this could be interpreted as one of the largest hints of all of the hints we've talked about today. I mean, it would be kind of perfect to say the dev wants to see something come to the game next that, well, is actually on its way to the game right now. Another little interesting tidbit that can be taken from this interview is the fact that, well, we learned the drops, the theming of them, it's a little bit more loose, but a feature, it will still have to fit on theme with a drop if it is to be added into that drop. Something has to be on theme with the drop to make it into the drop. It's almost like after years of waiting, we almost have a current drop that is literally exactly on theme with some of our old options. If you think about how Minecraft updates are done, with us seeing all of this desert and Badlands update inside of this update, it's probably unlikely that we will see even more desert and Badlands updates later on this year. So if not now, then when? Alright, this is a long laundry list today. I hope you guys are still enjoying the video. I'm down to the final one. Listen. Oh, the sounds, they're beautiful. I could listen to them all day long, but the ambiance, the wind and the dust, I mean, this one is a little bit more tumbleweed specific, but if you wanted to have a tumbleweed, you might want to have some wind, and well, wind, they kind of added wind to Minecraft earlier this year already. So proof for these next updates, I mean, we've laid out a lot today. There are tons of signs, and you don't even have to go very far back for those signs that point towards the Badlands update potentially finally making it into the game. And while we're at it, maybe even more than just the Badlands updates too, but let's focus on the Badlands today. Now, if these features were to be potentially implemented here, just how would they maybe actually work? Realistically here, how they work in vanilla is anyone's guess, but here are some ideas. By the way, big shout out to the Biome Backlog mod. This is one of my favorite mods ever, no joke, and it's the one that I always use to show off some of these old Biome Chooser features. So first things first, we've got the tumbleweed. Aesthetically, very similar to the dead bush. How I imagine this theoretical tumbleweed might end up working is sort of in a similar fashion to, say, like a plant. How the Biome Backlog mod does it here is, well, we've got a couple of brand new seeds. We can go ahead and plant these seeds in sand. If I want to, I can go ahead and bone meal these seeds, grow it all the way up, and then from time to time, this bush right here, it'll be able to break off and essentially just, well, basically blow away. They roll around. Tumbleweeds, I mean, they're not here for much. They just roll around, create a little bit of ambiance, and, I mean, yeah, that's all there is to them. Like that. Look at that. That's beautiful. It just randomly breaks off and starts tumbling around. Oh, that's so cool. This could probably all be done with entities and would make this, I don't know if tumbleweed's a plant really, but it would make it almost the first, like, moving a plant in all of Minecraft. I love how this thing moves and bounces. It's so smooth. Like, please, add this in. Ambiance, I mean, clearly, it fits in perfectly with the theme of this update so far. Ooh, now the real juicer here, the vulture, the one that probably everyone is excited about the most coming to the game. Oh, this thing is up in the air. Like, literally, no pun intended, how it would actually work, we have no clue at all. In search of a little bit more information, from their initial reveal, we get Jeb saying that vultures are drawn to loot left behind by unlucky explorers. Not the loot, says Agnes. How I interpret this is, well, it's almost as if they're hinting that the vulture will find loot or things and pick it up and fly around with it. Now, this gets me wondering, because it almost feels like in a modern world of Minecraft, would they really say add a bird to pick something up, flies up in the air, and then you kind of have to, well, like, you know, grab the old infinity bow and knock it out of the sky? I don't know. Maybe if you were to knock it out of the sky, it just drops the item and doesn't get hurt? I'm not sure. Either way, though, the aesthetic of a vulture being implemented and circling around in the sky, I mean, look, you guys already know it. I said it so many times, Bonzo's ears are sick of hearing it. Birds are one of my favorite ideas for, well, like, things to come to the game. Look at how empty the sky is. It's so boring. And then, last but not least, we've got the prickly pear. Take a look at this cactus right here. This thing is one of the most beautiful looking cactus that I have ever seen. So in a survival situation, I walk up to this thing and interact with it. Not too much is happening right now. If I go ahead and say maybe bone meal this cactus, make sure it's fully grown, well then eventually, once it's fully grown, if I break it with my hand, hold on a minute, that gives me the item. If I shear it, no, that didn't work. If I crafting table, no, that's not it either. Wait a second, I just realized it's actually hurting me when I break it. That's such a cool idea. Shouldn't the normal cactus do that too? Wow. Here it is. This is how you do it. Check this out. So we have a prickly pear cactus. I maybe say grow it all the way up. If I use an axe on it, I will strip this cactus and basically remove all of the thorns from it. Now, if I go ahead and walk up to this cactus and break the cactus, check that out. Instead of dropping into the cactus, it breaks apart. I've got myself two things, a cactus pad and maybe a little more juicy today, the prickly pear. And the prickly pear, I mean, it's a brand new food. I eat it and I take a little bit of damage. That idea right there is one of my favorite ideas of all time. A new food that is maybe like, they could even in the vanilla game implement this thing and make it even better than it is inside of this mod, but like maybe a really good food that has a second to guesser to it. Like maybe you don't want to just straight up eat this food. But what do you think? Do you think these Badland features could finally see their implementation? Your thoughts, takes, and opinions, or additional proof, tell me all about it down below or on the subreddit r/waddles. Thanks for watching, smash like, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.